Welcome back. As you know, I am Eli, the computer guy here for the Daily Blob, where I shake my brain nipples every day to get some of that dirty YouTube money so I can afford to provide you folks hands-on, in-person technology education that empowers you to do whatever the hell it is you want to do in Durham, North Carolina. Silicon Dojo, silicondojo.com. We offer classes on AI and web scraping coming up next week. We have a class coming up on extending AI capabilities using REST API coming up in a couple of weeks. If you're interested in any of those classes, do make sure to take a look at silicondojo.com to look at our schedule. Do remember, free to the indies is not actually free. That's why I shake my brain nips every day. If you want to throw some money into the donor box link down below, that would be ever so lovely. I will have to tell people out there. I get some people in the comment section telling me, Eli, you need to go back to doing tech education. That's what people want. And all I had to say to you is, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself with a goddamn cucumber is what I gotta say. I've been looking at my stats lately. My stats are currently 1.3 million views per month, which, to be clear, for this channel is the highest number of views I've seen since March of 2016. So the reality is, when I shake my brain nips, line goes up. When I talk about SQL, line goes down. So stop lying. But anyways, talking about lying and hiding reality, let's talk about artificial intelligence again. The great fraud, the great grift of 2025, the AI idiocy, right? I've been talking about this a lot. Absolutely ridiculous. LLMs are amazing. This whole new world of quote-unquote artificial intelligence is truly paradigm shifting. Is it worth $50 gazillion? No, just not. It's just not. Right? I've been talking about this for a while. And so I think one of the interesting things that's currently coming up is we're starting to see all of the business dealings for all of these different technology companies and how they're trying to goose the numbers to make artificial intelligence seem more financially viable than it actually is, right? So we have this circular economy where NVIDIA puts money into OpenAI to buy more NVIDIA equipment, and then OpenAI is putting money into Oracle, and Microsoft buys part of OpenAI, and then OpenAI then signs a contract in order to provide services for Microsoft, right? We've been seeing that stuff going on for a while. I think the interesting thing that we're now starting to see too is we're starting to see how these big, large technology companies are trying to obfuscate the actual books themselves. So they already have this circular economy idiocy going on, and now it appears that they're actually they're not fudging the numbers, they are tweaking the numbers. One of the things I've talked about for a long time is if you look at the technology world, one of the things that I argue for any young person out there that wants to get into the technology industry is you really should be thinking about your MBA or your Juris Doctor. I am telling you, there is more innovation going on in the legal and financial realm around technology companies than there is with the actual technology stacks themselves. You think LLMs are amazing? You haven't seen the crap the lawyers and the MBAs are coming up with, right? And so I think that's kind of an interesting thing going on right now with this whole AI idiocy. Is tech companies are now going to their disclosures and they're trying to figure out how to make their disclosures basically look better than those disclosures should look. So that's the whole thing, right? If you need a number to be here, you can either get the number there by profit and revenue and all that kind of stuff, or you can get the number there by changing how you report things in your disclosures to get the number up there. So this is coming about Michael Burry. So he's the one that predicted the Great Recession back in the day, and yeah, he is shorting the hell out of Palantir and NVIDIA. And when you hear this, you'll understand a little bit better why. This isn't simply him being anti-AI hype cycle. He's actually looking at how they're disclosing things and realizing They are changing how they disclose things in order to make numbers look better than they probably should. So Big Short investor Michael Burry accuses AI hyperscalers of artificially boosting earnings, right? So when we put out the disclosures, they have to put out how much money they're making. And wouldn't it be nice if you could just simply fudge those numbers to make the numbers go up? Michael Burry, the investor made famous by the Big Short, who recently roiled the market with a tech short bet, is accusing some of America's largest technology companies of using aggressive accounting to pad their profits from artificial intelligence boom. In a post on Monday on X, the Scion Asset Management founder alleged that hyperscalers, the major cloud and AI infrastructure providers, are understating depreciation expenses by estimating that chips will have a longer life cycle than is realistic. And this is one of the things you have to be thinking about. If you really want to be a technology leader in the modern world, you're going to have to understand things like, again, accounting and that type of stuff. I talk about regulations and I talk about understanding contracts in terms of service, right? Things like depreciation are something that you also have to understand one way or the other. Basically, what depreciation is when you buy a large product, right? So you buy a rack of servers. Basically, the concept with depreciation is how do you judge the decreasing value of that hard asset over time? How long does it go from being an asset worth $100,000 to an asset being worth zero, right? And then basically how do you deduct that? And also how do you take that off on taxes and that type of thing? And so what he's talking about here with the depreciation is if you have a normal, let's say a 3-year depreciation scheme. So you buy something for, let's say, $100,000. So for the accounting practices, instead of taking $100,000 off of your profit loss statement for the year, the idea is you can depreciate by a third every year. So it's 3 years. So basically 1 year you get to claim $33,000 in expenses, and then the next year you claim $33,000 in expenses, and the next year you claim $33,000 in expenses. So instead of taking a $100,000 hit 1 year, that's really going to skew the numbers. You take that smaller hit. So with the whole depreciation scheme, one of the things is, what if that $33,000 still seems high, right? You're still taking losses based off of that. How do you get that number to be smaller? Well, one of the ways you can make that number be smaller is if you extend the term of depreciation. So instead of being a 3-year depreciation, you put it out to 5-year depreciation. So now if it's a $100,000 hard asset, instead of depreciating by $33,000 every year, you can now depreciate by $20,000 every year. So that makes your books look better. You still bought a $100,000 server rack. You still got the revenue and everything else going on. It is simply how you put that basically into your documentation for investors to feel better or worse. So again, imagine being able to take off billions of dollars in costs every year, just kind of have them disappear, but because you extend out the depreciation. So anyways, quote, understating depreciation by extending useful life of assets artificially boosts earnings, one of the more common frauds in the modern era, Burry wrote. Quote, massively ramping capex through purchase of NVIDIA's chips servers on a 2 to 3 year product cycle should not result in the extension of useful lives of compute equipment, yet this is exactly what all the hyperscalers have done. So basically the idea is the life cycle for these NVIDIA systems is 2 to 3 years. They're trying to push out the depreciation schedule past that to try to boost their earnings. Burry estimated that from 2026 through 2028, the accounting maneuver would understate depreciation by about $176 billion, inflating reporting earnings across the industry. He singled out Oracle and Meta platforms, saying that their profits could be overstated by roughly 27 and 21% respectively. So again, you hear about this depreciation thing, and I talk about $100,000 rack of servers, and you're like, Eli, I mean, that may be true. It may be true, but don't we got bigger problems? Oh, we have so many bigger problems, right? But don't we got bigger problems than that? What does this really matter? Imagine for the value of stock prices. Basically, if Oracle and Meta are changing things in such a way to overstate earnings by a fucking quarter. We're not talking about overstating earnings by 1 or 2%, right? Maybe there's something where they need their earnings to be just dash higher than they are in order to hit some mark. So they're fucking around a little bit. Again, that is what it is, right? No, they're doing this so they can overstate their earnings or their profits by 25%. That's massive. When paying for large asset upfront, like semiconductor servers, etc., a company is then allowed to, under generally accepted accounting principles, or GAAP, to spread out the cost of the asset as a yearly expense that is based on the company's estimate of how rapidly the asset depreciates in value. So basically, how quickly does it go from being a $100,000 asset to being a $0 asset? If companies estimate a longer life cycle for the asset, they can then lower the yearly depreciation expense that hits the bottom line. Burry last week revealed seemingly fresh wagers against AI favorites NVIDIA and Palantir Technologies. He disclosed put options with a notional value of about $187 million against NVIDIA and $912 million against Palantir as of September 30th, according to a regulatory filing. Burry said in his X post that, quote, more detail was coming on November 25th, and that readers should stay tuned. So this is going to be the interesting thing to happen in the AI world. I honestly, again, in my heart of hearts, I have no idea what is going on in my own industry right now with this whole AI hype cycle. It is the exact same thing, right? When COVID hit and then all of these companies were hiring tens of thousands of employees, I didn't understand what was going on. And I tell you, if you followed me for any length of time when everybody was hiring, I didn't get what was going on. Again, technology, you scale what's called exponentially instead of linearly, right? If you have one server, you need one administrator. If you have 100 servers, you need 2 administrators. If you have 1,000 servers, you need 3 administrators. 10,000 servers, you need 4 administrators, right? That's basically how we scale. So if COVID happened and everybody's doing work from home, I'm not anti-Meta hiring employees. They probably should have hired about 1,000, right? You need employees to rack servers. You need employees to run cable. You need employees, to improve all that kind of stuff. You don't need whatever they hired, like 10 or 20,000 employees, right? That just didn't make any sense. Google was hiring, and Meta was hiring. All these companies were hiring because everybody's working from home. Ergo, all these technology companies obviously need to hire gazillions of employees. I said it back then. It didn't make a goddamn bit of sense. And what happened? Right? Elon Musk fired 75% of Twitter employees, and then everybody started dumping employees en masse, right? Meta dumped 20,000 employees, and Microsoft this year has dumped 16,000 employees, right? They're just dumping these employees after they said they had to have so many employees for this new world that we're in. That's the exact same thing. I do not understand what's going on with this whole AI idiocy. Do not get me wrong. Like a lot of people say, well, Eli, if you hate AI so much, why are you doing AI classes for Silicon Dojo? Clickbait? Honest answer is clickbait. It's AI washing. I teach you SQL with AI. I teach you REST APIs with AI. But anyways, right? But AI is fine, right? LLMs are fine. Being able to get pull structured data from PDFs is fucking amazing. Right? There's a lot of stuff with this, cool. But there's a difference, again, between a technology being amazing and valuable in the whole 9 yards and being worth $4 trillion in CapEx expenses. Like, you hear these contracts that people like Sam Altman are signing, and the numbers literally don't make sense. $350 billion to Oracle, $250 billion to Google, right? Tens of billions of dollars to Amazon and other companies like that. And you just look at it, and it's not that the technology is not valuable and doesn't have a place and purpose and all that kind of stuff. It's just not that. It's just not that. Especially when we look at the wider market, right? With China putting out all their open source AI models, all that kind of stuff coming out the pike. And you just look at the wider macro environment, and whatever the intrinsic value of AI, LLMs, and all these models might be, the actual economic value, the transaction, the commerce value, I suppose Marx would say, is a hell of a lot more questionable, right? Everybody needs a bottle of water. You need water to survive, right? If somebody tried to sell you a bottle of water for $1 million, you call them a fucking moron, right? But you need water to survive. Yeah, but again, it's like you look at a bottle of water. You need it to survive. How much will you pay for a bottle of water? $1, $2, $1.50? You're not going to be spending $40 on a bottle of water. right? And I think that's when I look at the whole AI thing, is again, not that it's not important and all that other stuff. You just look at the reality of the economics and all that, and it just doesn't make sense the way they're trying to sell it. And so what's interesting here is when we start to see these companies really start fuck with their accounting, that's when you know things are bad. That's when you know things are really not good, because this has gone beyond the hype cycle. This has gone beyond an overexcited CEO. This has gone to the point where they know there are fundamental problems economically with this model, and they're having to go to their accounting to try to clean this shit up, right? In a way that's optically good for investors. So what do you think about this? What do you think about Michael Burry, right? He's shorting NVIDIA and Palantir. He's coming out talking about basically how they're trying to shine their books in order to make things look better than they are. What do you think about all this? Put your thoughts down below. If you like these videos, give us a thumbs up. If you hate these videos, give us a thumbs down. Call me amazing, call me a dumbass. Just be a real Lutnick. Give us a comment with thumbs down there. Tell me how you really feel. Do you remember what I actually care about is Silicon Dojo, silicondojo.com, free to end user hands-on technology education that empowers you to do whatever the hell it is you want to do in Durham, North Carolina. We have a class coming up on AI and web scraping next week, a class on extending AI capabilities with REST APIs in a couple of weeks. We have more classes coming up every few weeks. Make sure to go to silicondojo.com to see what the current schedule is. Do remember, free to end user is not free. That's why I shake the brain nips every day. If you want to throw some money into the donor box account, there is a link down below. With that, see y'all later.